All right, hang on, let's just get this sorted.
I just put you on mute because I got stuff I need to do.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go over snacking and late night cravings. I'm live on the Bodyproof Vault in here. These are for people that aren't quite clients yet. We're also live in the Platinum Health Lounge where our paying clients are. So I'm going to talk for about 10 to 15 minutes about snacking, late night cravings and how we overcome this. And then we'll go dark on the vault, we'll open up and we'll discuss personal experiences and do some one-on-one coaching in the private group. So snacking and late night cravings are two of the most popular or the most common issues that we see in people that are trying to lose weight. Very common. That with emotional eating. The thing with emotional eating is people don't realize that they're doing it. They don't understand that they're a victim of emotional eating. We all are, every single one of us, but people don't realize it. So people don't put their hand up and say, I'm struggling with emotional eating. They don't understand it. So when we ask people, the biggest responses that we get are snacking and late night cravings, and obviously it's a big problem. So we'll go through snacking first, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about late night cravings after. So they're both linked, but they also have two very different root causes as well. And understanding the root cause of any issue is always the best way to approach it. So if you go to the doctor and you've what am I trying to? I need a sort of an analogy here. If you've got tummy ache from being gluten intolerant and you've eaten gluten, and the doctor gives you some painkillers, he's just putting a plaster over it. He hasn't solved the root cause of the problem, right? And this is what a lot of people do. They don't understand the root cause of the problem to never really solve it or fix it. So the right response to do in that situation will be to remove gluten from the individual's diet, let the gut heal through some supplementation and correct nutrition, and then obviously don't bring the gluten back in. And it's the same with snacking as well, where there's a root cause to the problem. And the biggest and the most common reason that we see people snacking is just because they're basically under eating in the first place. People will design their own diet, or they won't have a good enough understanding about nutrition, and they'll want to lose weight. Their goal is to lose weight, so they just undereat. I know that I understand the laws of thermodynamics. I need to eat less than I burn. So to lose weight, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat less, and they'll just drop their calories to the floor, whether they know it or they don't know it. And obviously, when your calories are super low, what happens? We get hungry, right? We get hungry and we want to eat more food. So we turn to snacks, and normally the snacks are things that are fast, easy, and high in calories. So imagine this. Your base metabolic rate is 3,000 calories, and then you design your own diet and you eat 1,000. So you get a little bit of weight loss on 1,000 calories, and you love it. You're getting great results. So you stick at 1,000 calories, and over a period of 4 weeks, your weight loss starts to slow down. And this is exactly what happens, right? Your weight loss will slow down, and your metabolic adaptation comes down to meet your daily intake, so that it can survive. Your metabolism, your physiology wants to survive. So it downregulates metabolism. And then you get really hungry, right? Because you've been dieting for so hard, you're pretty depleted, you're pretty tired, you're pretty worn out. And you get these cravings. So you turn to some snacks and you have a protein bar, some chocolate, and some jelly snakes. And all of a sudden, your 1,000 calories has gone up to 1,500. From a snack, right? So now you've just increased your intake by 50%, and your metabolism is still at 1,000. So all of a sudden you put these extra calories in, the metabolism can't work efficiently enough to deal with it. Even though you're in a deficit, your snack has now just increased, and it's more than your body can deal with, and it ends up getting processed and turned into fat. So if snacking is an issue for you, the first thing that I would say to you is, let's have a look at your calories. Maybe they are too low. Maybe they're just programmed too low, and they need to be brought up slightly so we don't get that hunger hormone or that hunger response. When you get hungry, you have hormones, ghrelin and leptin. These are your hunger and satiety hormones, and these get downregulated because if you're dieting really, really hard, we don't want ghrelin to be like firing all the time because it'll just be impossible to diet. So the body downregulates the hunger and satiety hormones. But they'll creep in, they'll spike now and again, and that will give you the cravings for the snacks. So the first thing to do with snacking is look at it as a physiological standpoint. Are your calories just too low? Have you been dieting too long, for too hard, and you can't stick to the diet? The second point that I would look to on a physiological level also is it just inadequate nutrition? Do you just suffer from a shitty diet? Because if you're drinking like fizzy drinks and you're having donuts and chocolate and crisps, you're going to get that blood glucose spike. You're going to get that melatonin rush, that serotonin rush released from the gut into the brain. You get that feel good feeling from those shitty foods, right? They make us feel good short term. And then obviously afterwards, because the body wants to regulate blood sugar glucose, you then get the crash after. So it might be the fact that you're going spiking, crashing, spiking, crashing, spiking, crashing, and your blood sugar levels are all over the place. And that might be contributing towards you wanting to snack as well, because you're in this spike, ebbs and flows of blood sugar levels. So by controlling your diet and getting control of your diet, you would stop this and then stop the feeling for wanting to eat foods all the time. So blood sugar levels are another one that we need to be aware of. And what we would do to correct that is just have good structured nutrition, have regular set meals. So you might have your meals every 3 hours. We might have 3 meals and 2 snacks. Make it easy. And what we do, if people have been having a really shitty diet, lots of jelly snakes, crisps, pizzas, chocolate, and they are getting these sugar rushes, it's very, very hard for them to stick to a good diet, right? Because they're used to getting these sugar rushes. So if we say, look, you can't eat any shit, take it all out, what's going to happen is they just crash right to the bottom all the time, right? And then they can't stick to the diet, they give up. So what I do when we are taking somebody from a really shit diet, a really poor diet, and trying to get them to adhere to a better diet, I don't just give them a pure clean diet. What I'll do is give them 5 meals or 3 meals and 2 snacks, and I'll spread the carbohydrates out equally over the 5 meals, so they're still getting some blood glucose come in. So if they're having fizzy drinks, chocolate, spike, crash, I don't want to go all of that out, pure, clean, healthy, no carb diet, because I never stick to it. I just give them a slow release of carbohydrates throughout the day. And if someone's having like McDonald's 3 times a day, like if their diet's that bad, I might just reduce it gradually. So I might just say have 2 McDonald's and 1 healthy meal per day, and then go 1 McDonald's, 2 healthy meals per day, and just slowly take them off rather than trying to go cold turkey, because it's just too much to deal with. I hope that kind of makes sense. So when we eat carbohydrates and sugars, we get a blood sugar rush, we get a serotonin release, goes into the brain, feels good. And then once the body shuffles those blood glucose out of the bloodstream, we then get a crash. So someone that's having a really shitty diet is doing this with their blood sugars, getting little good feel good rushes. And then obviously taking all that shit out of their diet, they're just at the bottom, crashed out permanently. They don't stick to the diet and they go back. So we need to make the process easier for them by putting some in. Pick carbohydrates in every meal, just in smaller doses. Slowly take them away from their shitty diet onto a good, better diet. You got a cat there, Brie? And then the next one to do with snacking would be just look at your environment and your routines and your habits. If you're hanging out at work and there's people at work and they're bringing biscuits in every day, trying to make themselves feel better by sabotaging your weight loss efforts, or if your mother's a natural feeder, that's me. Hey, would you like a cup of tea? Yeah, sure, I'd love a cup of tea. The next thing, you end up with a tray of crisps and sandwiches and biscuits, and you need a bit of feeding up, son. So have a look at your environment as well. Maybe your husband, overeats and doesn't care about his weight, but you do, and that's influencing your snacking. Or maybe it's your work environment. This is a very common one. People go to work, they work in the office, and people are bringing in the biscuits. they're creating these little mini rushes, helping them get through. So check your environment as well. I wrote a report for a Mind site the other day as well. They asked, why do we always get an increase in accident rate straight after lunch? And I said, well, it's because people are having either the wrong source of carbohydrates or too much. They get their serotonin and melatonin release after they have these big carbohydrate meals, and then they get that sleepy crash after from the melatonin and the serotonin. And this is why they lose their concentration, and we have an increased rate of accidents after lunch on the Mind site. And the Mind site said, easy fix, we'll just take carbohydrates out. We'll just no carbs at lunch. And then I said, well, the trouble with doing that is if you have someone that's not very happy with their life, with their job, and eating their favorite food at lunch is what gives them a little bit of enjoyment, gets them through their day, and you're taking that away from them, then you're going to have psychological issues as well. So you're going to have people that are now focusing better, but they're more depressed, and you're going to lead to psychological issues by removing these foods. So snacking, you have to look at it from a physiological point of view and a psychological point of view. Are you snacking because it gives you a little feel-good feeling? Is it your savior? Is it the thing that gives you a little bit of happiness in your day? Because if you're trying to fight that by not snacking, then you're just contributing towards bigger problems, and you're never going to win that battle. So you need to identify, is it because I have inadequate nutrition? Is it because of psychological reasons? Is it my environment? Is it my overall inner happiness? So we have to identify what the root cause is to snacking before we can then go around correcting it and fixing it. So it's not just a case of willpower and motivation. Obviously, like, we never ever want to rely on willpower and motivation to get us anywhere, because willpower and motivation come and go. You can start the day like, I'm 100% going to stick to my fucking diet today, 100%. And then late at night, you're like, yeah, all right, yeah, sweet, get the chocolate out. It comes and goes. You can't rely on it. You need to build habits, routines, and develop an understanding of yourself, and work towards health and fitness, or your weight or your body composition goals, as a well-rounded, wholesome approach. So it gets pretty deep on snacking, but the first thing to do is just make sure you're eating enough so you're always full. Get adequate nutrition so you're always full and don't feel the need to snack. That's the easiest thing, and then work from there. And if you are dieting and you want to lose weight, then just use big volume foods like pumpkin, lots of green vegetables, so that you're full in volume. You don't have to be full in calories. You can have stuff that's, hey Susan, you can have stuff that's high in volume and low in calories. All right, let's move on and talk about late night cravings. Does anybody have any questions at this point to do with snacking? I'm going to open up to you guys. I'm going to open up to you later, George. I'm going to come back to you guys one-on-one after, and we'll have an in-depth conversation about it all then. All right, let's move into late night cravings. So this is really cool, man, and I love talking about this because I never hear any other professional in the world talking about this, and it's so obvious. And when you understand it, it's so easy to solve. So every single animal on the planet has basic instincts, right? Survival, reproduction, and safety. So all animals have this. So whether you're a rat, a mouse, a cat, a dog, you will naturally know how to find food, find shelter, and survive, stay safe. You have that safety defense mechanism built into the body. If we didn't have it, it would be like, oh shit, there's a bus, wallop, you're dead. But you know to react, you know to respond, but you don't have to think about it. It's a natural reaction. We have this built into us. All animals have it. We have a instinct to reproduce. And if we didn't, the human race wouldn't be on the planet, nor any race, because we wouldn't know to reproduce. And the other one is it's survival, reproduction, and food. We know we need to find food. We get hungry. We have to go and get food to stay alive. But where humans differ, the one thing that separates us from every other species on the planet is we have this built-in function, or this built-in mechanism called the executive function. And the executive function is what stops us from punching people in the face. So, you know, like when you've got a dog and you piss the dog off, the dog will be happy at you, or your cat will swipe at you. Your cat loves you and your dog loves you, but they don't know any different. But humans, we know this, and we have to have this built-in mechanism. When your boss shouts at you and you're like, you're a fucking prick, you don't punch him because you know you shouldn't. You know you can't do that. We get taught this, but we also have this built in as well. It's a built-in mechanism called the executive function. It stops us from getting into trouble. So animals, like we say, they're fucking animals. You know, like when we talk about the Collingwood, is it? The football team? You talk about they're bloody animals. You know, like, because they act like animals. They don't have the executive function. They don't have the behaviors that we have. So animals have the basic instincts. Humans have the executive function. It helps us make decisions, helps to keep us normal within society. And what happens is throughout the day, this executive function gets worn out. We make so many decisions. What shall I wear today? Do I cross the road now? What do I say to my son when he moans to me about his pencil case? What am I going to do for tea tonight? This executive function gets worn out. And then by the end of the day, at the end of the night, when we're sat on the sofa, we know that there's chocolate in the cupboard, and the executive function is so fatigued that we can't make the decision to not eat the chocolate. We're tired. We're worn out. Our decision-making ability is impaired. And it's also the same when we're performing on the football pitch or in the gym. When we get tired, our skill levels go down. Our quality decreases. It's the same. We get tired with fatigue. We can't make decisions. We can't perform as well. And it's the same with the executive function. It gets worn out, it gets fatigued, and we're then not able to make the right decisions. And this is why we see so much late night cravings. And you see this even more relevant the higher up the individual is on the executive ladder. The more responsibility and the more power they have, the worse their executive function works at the end of the night. So I don't know if you guys know Bill Gates. He's like one of the richest guys in the world, but dresses so poorly. He dresses in like $30 jeans and a $10 t-shirt because he doesn't want to wear out his executive function, worrying about what he's going to pick to wear every day. And he says that openly. I use my decision-making abilities for my day at work. I wear the same clothes every day. It's a t-shirt and jeans. I don't have to think about it. It's one less decision that I have to make. So this is what happens. This is why we get cravings late at night, because we get tired out, we get fatigued, and our executive function stops working. So how we overcome this and how we deal with this is obviously first always is adequate nutrition. Make sure you get enough in, and you're not dieting too hard. Okay, Sarah. Because we don't want you to be hungry. And if you're hungry, then you're going to turn to snacks, and being at home late at night is probably when you've got time to get snacks. So the things that we do are, one, obviously don't allow them into the house, get rid of them, tell your partner don't want them, don't buy them. But the other one is to make the decision to not eat the chocolate or to not snack in the morning when your executive function is fresh. So if you're a client of mine, you'll know that I'm very big on the morning routine, and we always set up the morning routine. You set up your day, you prepare in the morning, you visualize your day, you do visualization work. And what we need to do is in the morning, when you're fresh, is just sit there, whether we've got your eyes closed or whether you're going to do it when you drive to work. You make the decision that you're not going to eat the chocolate. So I know that when I get home at 6 o'clock, I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to put my shorts and t-shirt on. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to have that family meal together. And then I'm going to sit on the sofa. And that's when I'm going to want to eat the chocolate. But I'm not going to do that. I've made the decision now that I'm not going to do those actions. I know it's there. I'm telling myself now that I don't want it. I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to have a glass of sparkling water, go to bed and read my book, and I'm going to be happy at that. And I know that I'm not going to eat that chocolate. So you make the decision whilst you're fresh. Don't wait for an exhausted mind to not make that decision. So obviously there's practical things. Don't buy the stuff in the first place. Tell your partner you don't want it. Go around, chuck it all out. But also know that the executive function is fatigued, and that's why you snack late at night. And to make the decision in the morning when you're fresh. Visualize yourself sitting on the sofa, not going to get it. Don't leave it up to the executive function late at night, because you will lose that game. You will snack. And the more stressful your job is, the more responsibility you have, the more you have going on in your life, parents especially, the more you have going on, the more I see these people are more inclined to snack. And it's just true. We have to address the executive function first thing in the morning. And then obviously habits and routines and environment. Is it just that you're in a habit, you like to sit down, have a snack when you're watching enough TV or whatever? We have to have a look at that as well. And obviously just ask yourself the question, how many nights of the week do you need to sit on the sofa and eat popcorn, watch TV? You get enjoyment out of it. Is once or twice a week enough? Or if you really struggle to get rid of it, just choose low calorie snacks. Like, the world of nutrition is so advanced now. Like, there's so many low calorie snacks in the supermarkets. It's unbelievable. Like, you can get popcorn. It's like 15 calories per bag. You can get, like, these guys in our group will tell you, like, I don't really struggle with it, so I don't really need to know. But Kirby's brilliant. You know, she'll find all the low calorie snacks. She knows all of it. And there's a lot of people in here that do things like that. Crisps, you can get low calorie crisps, you can make low calorie pizzas. You can have snacks that are really, really low calories if you just put the work in and go and find them. So you can still snack at night if you want, if it's the enjoyment, if it's the social thing, if it's the environment thing, if it's the happiness thing, you can still do that, and just pick smart choices, you know. Go and get low calorie options. You don't need to be eating the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. You can have Halo ice cream, just a nice little switch, and just keep it low calories. Right, guys, Josh, I know you've got a question there. I try to keep the questions just for my paying clients here. So maybe just PM me tomorrow and I'll catch up with you. But thanks for tuning in, people in the vault. We're now going to go dark. I'm going to open up to my clients and we're going to answer some questions in here. So thank you. I hope that's helped you all out. Peace out. All right, guys, let's get you guys off mute. All right, you guys are all off mute. Questions? Oh, Manuel, you're not off mute yet. All right, Bree, you were here first. What's going on?
Okay. I have late night cravings, so a lot of those things were, I think, quite relevant that you mentioned.
Calories are bloody low at the moment, though, aren't they?
No, you've just put them up. So this is my first week on 1,800 calories, which is the most food I have eaten for such a long time, possibly years. So I'm not struggling with late night cravings this week, being on 1,800 calories.
Yeah, we've solved the problem there then.
So I was thinking maybe it was to do with perhaps that I don't have carbs in my last meal. So does that affect your serotonin, tryptophan, all those sorts of things?
Yeah.
Because my go-to craving foods is milk and peanut butter, and it's late at night.
Beautiful. Great choice.
That's just what my cravings are for.
Yeah, so I would say...
I think, I don't know whether it's because of melatonin.
Yeah, it could be a lot of that, you know. It could be a little bit of everything that we spoke about tonight. And I think the fact that your calories are up now and they've reduced is a big indication that those calories were just too low. And yeah, for sure, man, we can definitely shift some of those carbohydrates into that last meal of the day to make it more enjoyable. And the easy thing for us is, because you've got such a great support network to help you, we could just program in milk and peanut butter into that last meal of the day. And then you're having your late night cravings. It's all accounted for. It's all in the plan, you know.
Yeah, I've done that. I'm just getting my meal prep organised for next week, and I've actually put milk and peanut butter in my last meal.
Yeah, good on you. That's what nutrition's about, you know. Like, that's what it should be about. You should never
have it rather than keep restricting myself and then.
That's right. You never want to be suffering and sacrificing, you know. Like, that's really, really good. That's exactly what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Program it in, and then obviously, when your calories get lower, the cravings are going to come back up, right? That's natural. Your body doesn't want to be hungry. It doesn't want to be losing fat. It wants to stay safe, right? It's going to tell you to eat more when you diet. The more you diet, the more you're going to get cravings. Simple as that. But then we can just counteract them. We can just go like almond milk or rice milk or something that's lower calorie, and then peanut butter. I don't think there's such a thing as low calorie peanut butter. but maybe we can just replace it with some more volume, you know, maybe put some more pumpkin in the last meal of the day so you feel really full when you don't want to eat peanut butter. We can do things like that.
Yeah.
How about
yeah.
how about the PB2 powder?
Oh, what, peanut butter powder?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Oh, haven't you? Oh, PB2 powder, and you add water, and it's like peanut butter, but there's not as much fat in it, I don't think.
Beautiful. Yeah. Brilliant.
I have no idea where to get that from.
I'll take a photo. I've got a bottle. I'll take a photo and send it to you.
Okay.
Bree's like, that sounds so shit, Carrie.
It's not like the real thing. Trust me. I'm a peanut butter fan myself. It's so not, but it's remotely close. And it might just curb your craving. So I'll send you a photo of it.
All right. Cheers.
They might do it at the Protein Shack, actually.
Maybe.
Mm.
I'll have to ask Jaden.
I just had a notification come up from Facebook saying a link has been added to your video to give Epidemic Sound credit for content they may own. Bit weird, isn't it? Definitely don't own my voice. Yeah, so there's definitely things we can do there, Bree, to work around it. Obviously this week's been good on 1800. Next week as we go, we're going down, I guess. We'll go back down next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big drop, eh?
Yeah. So it's a big drop. Back to what is it? I think it's 1400 calories or 13 maybe.
Just
so
make
I've programmed
sure
that in. I've programmed in milk and peanut butter for meal 4. So,
I don't want it to be much below 14. Let's just check that and see where it is. If it's below 14, just let me know.
yeah.
We'll just put it up a bit. You don't need to be that low. I know you want to lose fat quickly, but we don't want to put it that low. There's no point to that. And maybe just put those high volume foods in. Put some pumpkin in as well into meal 5 if you can, or meal 4. So you're going into the day. If you're going into the night 4.
Yeah.
Celery. Just pack up your meal with. When I was bodybuilding, I would just put my protein, fat meal, my fats and carbs in, and then I'd fill the container with leafy greens. And then I do things like shred my carrot so there's more volume. Just anything I could do to fill the container up, just so the container was full to the brim of veggies.
Yeah.
Zucchinis. I get the zucchini grill and make zucchini noodles so there's more volume. And then I'd get those. You can get like carb-free, like I think it's made from like Splendid or something like that. You just add water and it like
Splendian noodles. Is that the one?
Yeah, you can get.
And it's made from an Asian vegetable that's got no carbs and they've got no calories.
Or something.
No, I was thinking of they're in the packets like paper packets. So you can get rice, noodles, something else, and you just add water. It's just like water and fiber.
Yeah.
And there's low carbs. They're pretty gross, but I used to pack up with them. And then the other one is charisma potatoes. They're like a quarter of normal carbs for potatoes. Charisma potatoes. We're all over it. Check us out. Dieting kings, queens.
I just sent you, Steve, the PB2 because I don't know how to send it to Bree.
All right, yeah, sweet. I'll do a post.
But they roast the peanuts, press the fat out, and then they dry it into a powder.
Wow, so cool.
Anyway, not that I've eaten it. I haven't eaten it in a long time, but I've got a jar.
Yeah, good on you. Georgie.
Howdy. I just had a question, Steve, regarding the very first kind of point you brought up when you said maybe you need to look at your calories if you are snacking unhealthy snacks. Yeah. And you said keep your meals regular. I don't know if I heard this wrong, or did you mean that we should never be hungry, like never ever have that feeling of hunger?
Yeah, good question. So for change to happen in any area of life, there has to be an element of discomfort. So whether we want to get a promotion, whether we want to raise a family, whether we want to push our business forward, whether we want to change our body, grow muscle, lose fat, whatever we want. If you want progress to occur, there has to be an element of discomfort. Now, the element of discomfort has to be there, but we don't want it to be so big that it's unmanageable. So the more discomfort, the faster the progress, right?
Yeah.
But it comes to a point where it's too much. It comes to a point where it's too much hunger, and now I'm craving, and now I'm snacking. And I'm so uncomfortable, I'm being moody and miserable. That's too much hunger. If the hunger is, and it's different for everyone, you know, people can tolerate different amounts. You know, you get like a big alpha male, or they'll just plod through, I'm going to fucking do it. Doesn't matter how hungry I am, I'm going to do it. But then for other people, it's like, I don't want to be that hungry. My goals don't match that. It's too much. And now it's affecting my life. Okay, let's pull back. And this is what we do with comp prep people. Like, we have a goal that we have to reach, right? We have to get them in optimal condition. And along that journey, if it gets to a point where they go, you know, you see them crumbling, they might cry a little bit, or they cheat on the diet, or they have an argument with their partner, we have to then have a conversation, you know, we're putting the discomfort in place for you to get to your goal, but now is it coming at too much of a greater cost for you? Do we need to pull you back? And I had this conversation last year with someone. I said, look, we can get you leaner, but the cost is going to be too big. So we're going to slow it down. We're going to slow your weight loss down a little bit to make it more enjoyable for you. You're not going to be the leanest person on stage, but I don't want you to be, because it's not worth it. And for someone like, you know, Susie, like, you know, she's experienced, she's an advanced athlete. She's there pushing for international world titles. We have to just say, get on with it. But for someone that's, you know, the person I was speaking to, like, it wasn't worth it for her. Her aspirations were just to get on stage. She wasn't worried about winning. So let's pull you back a little bit, because it's too much. There's too much discomfort here for you. And that's what we see on all levels, you know. People diet, if it's just too much discomfort, pull it back. You don't need to be all the way up here. You can still get results, but be here. Your results just might be a little bit slower.
Right. And is it often that the least percentage that you're trying to, let's say if it's body fat, to lose, you have to get a little bit more uncomfortable with a little bit more uncomfortable?
Yeah, the leaner you get, the harder it gets.
Like, if, you know, I was trying to lose 10 kilos, which I'm not, but if I was, as opposed to me saying to you, oh, look, 2 would be great, you know, I'm going to feel a little bit more uncomfortable than if I needed to lose 10, aren't I? Is that right or not really?
Well, yeah, because you have less to lose, you know. It's like, I think I got you right. So if someone that can lose 10 kilos, it's easier for them if they've got room to move into. But for someone like yourself, because there's this point called what do they call it? What's the point? Essential body fat. There's a point called essential body fat. So for guys, that's at like 10%, and for women, it's like 18%, 16%. So the closer you get to this essential body fat, the more at risk you are of your health. So if boys go under 10%, they start getting hormone downregulation, and their body knows it. So the leaner they get, the harder it is. And for women, you know, like, you can get from 100 kilos down to 80 kilos pretty easy, but getting from 80 to 70 is going to be harder.
Yeah, I get it.
So like for yourself, you know, like, the higher you are, or the closer you are to your ceiling of physical potential, the slower the result, you know. Like, if you spent the next year getting obese, and then you come into the program, like, you know, you'd lose 20 kilos so easy. Yeah. But then it would be hard.
Yeah, so, but it may take me a year to lose 2.
Yeah, that's right. And the same for me now, like, you know, for me to grow a kilo of muscle, like, don't even bother. You know, don't even bother. But for someone that would be starting out in the gym, and they've got so much room to move into, they could get that they could get that a whole lot easier.
Okay. So we have to be a little uncomfortable until it gets to the point where it's jeopardizing the whole goal.
Yeah, that's right. And that's up to you to call that, you know. Like, you could say, I could take a bit more here. Or you could say, do you know what? The rate that I'm progressing at the moment, I can get to my goal. I don't even have to feel discomfort. Like, it's there, but it's not aware of it. Or you might say, do you know what? Like, I'm progressing at a good rate, but it's coming at too much of a greater cost for me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Carrie, I think you're muted there. Hello.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm all good, really.
Talk to me about balance. How have you managed these last few weeks?
Oh, yeah, my work life's been pretty hectic. Yeah, I knew it was coming, so it's no surprise to me. But I haven't fallen off the wagon in terms of exercise and nutrition. But my biggest problem is my mental, just my mental health in terms of my meditation and everything else. That tends to fall away first. So, and just setting my intentions for the day and everything. But that's all right. I've kind of imploded and brought myself back into line in that and started my meditation again. And, you know, like I said to you earlier, I've had to set my alarm to come here because I know it's important, but it's just the little things that slip away when things get tough. But that's all right.
And I was going to do a video. I'm going to do the video tomorrow. I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
Let me just write these notes because I'll make this video for you tomorrow. All right, you're gonna like this. So imagine that you have a 1 litre jug of water, and you have 3 or 4 cups. So Carrie and Bree and Georgie, you know, you might even have 5 cups, you guys. So for me, I've probably got 3. Right, I don't have kids. I don't have a family. I've got a cat. But you have a litre of water, right? You have this big jug, a litre of water, and you have 3 cups. And the 3 cups represent areas of your life. So mine would be my relationship, my health, my business. And the litre of water is my energy and attention. What I do every single day, I have my 3 cups on the table, and I share my water between all areas of my life.
Actually, physically do.
No. So this is what I'm doing with that. So the water is my energy and my attention. It represents my energy and attention. And what I'm doing in reality is I'm sharing this energy and attention between the 3 areas of my life. So it's just like I'm pouring the water into the cups. And in an ideal world, in an ideal day, all 3 cups would get equal attention, just exactly what they need. But in reality, like today, my relationship's going to get a little bit less water because I'm going to be working late. So my cup, the work cup gets more. And my health cup might get the same, but my relationship might get a little bit less. And this is what you're doing, Carrie. So you've got your health, your family, your work, and you've gone, right, your work needs a lot more, right? And that water has to come from somewhere else. On that day, this week, you're giving more water into your work cups. That means it has to come out somewhere else. And you've taken your health. But that's perfectly fine as long as you're putting some in there. As long as you don't go, all has to go into work, because then everything falls apart. You have to go, work gets a bit more, and I know that has to come from somewhere. And it's going to come from my health. It's going to come, I'm just going to stop my meditation. I don't have time to do everything. But my family need to have what they need. Work needs to have what they need. So my only option is to give a little bit less to my health. And that's fine, because in a month's time, it might be the other way around. Work might go quieter, and you can say, right, now I'm going to take a little bit more time for my health. I'm actually going to take an extra day off. Or you might do something different. I might finish early. I might finish at 4 o'clock every day to go to the gym. And then you can put more water into the health cup. But that's just the balancing act that we go through every day. And like we said, as long as you're putting some in each area and you're not putting all of it in one cup, then you're fine. And that's what I've done really, really badly in the past. I tend to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
I've had to learn that the hard way, you know, like it's okay to take a little bit less into your water cup one day, as long as you're putting some in there.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great video, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What when you were talking earlier, what really resonated with me was making decisions. Like my job is making decisions every second of all day. And so for me, that's why meal prep really helps, because I don't have to think about what I eat. I get home and it's there, it's done.
Yeah, that's right. Just you don't. Yeah, that's it. You want to save those decision-making abilities.
I don't want to use my brain anymore.
Yeah.
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 So,
That's right.
yeah. No. It's all good.
All right. Everyone's happy.
Yep.
Very good 45 minutes there, haven't we? That's good.
Mm.
Right, guys. Well, I appreciate you turning up. I hope you've got some value out of that. If you need anything changing, just email in after today's conversation. If you want anything changing, just let us know and we'll do the work.
Right.
Reviews,
Cool.
get in the habits of reviews,
Great.
get on the calls, give us feedback. Yeah, spread the word, do your thing.
Thanks, Dave.
Right, guys, see ya.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.